Allebei zijn. Dan lukt het dan.
Another group of techniques that you'll see quite often in Aikido is Tanto Tori. This is the group of techniques that deals with how to take a knife away from a partner. So a tanto, is being the smallest weapon that we use, also creates a fair amount of danger because your partner is going to be very close with that weapon. So a lot of the techniques involved in Tanto Tori tend to be a little more aggressive in order to completely diffuse the situation. So if we start with a tanto, again, the very basic initial starting point for a lot of these attacks is going to be ski. So again, we're looking at a punch or a stab directly to the stomach. All right, and again, as in any Aikido technique, the most important thing for me is to get offline and away from the initial attack. So we've seen kotegaishi before, or wrist twist without a weapon, and this can be directly applied to Tanto Tori. And the way that this would differ a little bit from open hand techniques is because my partner has a knife. As the strike comes in, I can use that weapon both to influence his movement, and I also need to be aware that I want to keep the weapon away from my partner. I'm not going to sit down to create the pin in this situation. I want to stay standing and remain with the weapon. Another variation that we see a lot, hijikime, or another one of the elbow techniques, and this is specifically designed to make sure that your partner's weapon hand is immobilized. So this is a point where you want to apply subtle and constant pressure. Try not to break the arm, but you want to apply the pressure until your partner needs to drop the weapon, and then you can get rid of your partner. Again, from the other side, again, control the weapon, open the space up, directly underneath against the elbow, take your wrist, and squeeze. All right. We also see a fair amount of chokes and immobilizations from this point. Lift before we went under the elbow. This time we're going to continue all the way around. Wrap the neck up. In order to remove the knife, we're going to step back and drop on the closest knee and apply pressure to the elbow against my knee that's up until your partner drops the knife. All right. One other kubishime technique that you'll see quite often. To the side, all the way around, and take the gi from the other side and separate. Again, down on the closest knee, pressure on the elbow. So one more time. So, tanto tori. These are just some of the most common techniques that you'll see against a knife and how to remove it from your partner. There are several others which generally pertain to open hand techniques, but these are some basic beginning points on tanto tori.
Ude kiminage means arm extension. Okay, we're going to start from a very basic position, cross hand grab. We're actually in the same position, but it's opposite because we're facing each other. And what I want to do is extend my partner's arm. I'm working on this balance point, and then I'm going to move straight in front of her legs and extend her elbow, hyperextend her elbow, and throw her. So as I make, this is my opening. She's off balance, right? I'm in a great position here. And then I see my path. As I move, I do the oppositional movement of bringing her wrist down and putting my, hyperextending her elbow. So here, I have her balance up, she's uncomfortable, and then I take her down. Now, the ura version would be same attack. I'm gonna turn, right? From, say, yokomen, I do the same thing. Actually, that's my shionage opening. I get her balance again. We learn different attacks in Aikido so that we can learn about space and how we manage our space. So my atemi, I want the strike to complete. Okay, ude kiminage.
Okay, we're going to cover a couple of techniques that fall under the category of hiji waza. Hiji is elbow and waza is technique, so these are several techniques that specifically lock or were initially intended to break an elbow. We want to be careful with that because we don't want to injure anybody in our training, but it's always good to know that where these techniques came from. So if we start with the basic gyaku hanmi grab, again, I'm going to move to the side, lift as if I was going to start nikkyo, and roll the arm all the way over and under. So I should have his elbow tightly clamped underneath my arm. His arm should be higher and directly above his shoulder. As soon as I drop this, my partner can stand up. This is not the effect I want to have. So in terms of leverage, I want to use that elbow to lift, make sure that my weight is above my partner's shoulder, and I'm going to step back and create an opening that I'm going to take that elbow with me. The partner needs to follow and move with. Once I get down, again, the knee closest to my partner is down. I want to have a good solid connection with my partner's elbow, and I'm just going to turn my body to face my partner. That one's hijikime. Another form of hijiwaza we can use, again to attack the elbow specifically, I need to remove my partner's hand, kaiten in, and open the space up. I want to use the elbow, and I don't want to do it if we're all cramped up on top. Move in, open the space. I'm going to reach directly underneath the elbow so it's barred against my arm. Take my own forearm, and as you curl both fingers in, that puts a fair amount of pressure in the opposite direction of the elbow. By the time you feel it beginning to hurt, it's generally at the point where it's ready to break, so please be careful. Attention away, underneath the arm, and take your own wrist, both hands squeeze. All right. One more technique that we can use considered hijiwaza, or a hiji nage, is a throw. Step to the side, and I want to reach right underneath my partner's elbow and use that leverage to let him go. I'm going to stand off the line of attack so he's got somewhere to go. Drop and take the elbow and turn. Right. Hijiwaza, elbow techniques.